What is up, Wild Bunch? Today is day 77 of the Can Fast Daily Vlog. Welcome to another one. Guys, today we're talking all about people who have won the lottery and did won at life. Right here on the Daily. Let's get into it. First, I just want to say, I consider winning over $1 million a life-changing event for 95% of the population on the planet Earth. Now, if a person takes that $1 million or $1 million plus, however much it is, and pretends like they didn't win it, just continues to live their normal life and sit on all the money, I don't consider that a win. You might agree with me, you might disagree with me, but I don't consider that a win. Alright? If a person donates it all to charity, I don't consider that a win either. Imagine, you just got this life-changing event for the better, positively, right? And like, you just said, oh no, let me just give it all away to someone else. You've basically transferred that life-changing occurrence to someone else or to a company, right? You've basically just given it away to someone else, right? I don't consider that a win either. So that's not who's going to be on this list. Now, I'm not saying I don't respect you if you're 85 years old and you win $30 million and you donate it to your favorite charity. I'm not saying I don't respect you. I'm just saying I don't consider that a win. I mean, that's just my feelings on it, okay? I'm talking about people who have won over $1 million and absolutely crushed it afterwards. That's what I'm talking about, and that's what we're going to get into right here today. In 2011, Jim and Caroline McCullars from a small town in Washington State won half of a $380 million prize in the Mega Millions lottery. The couple, who claimed they're part of the second largest jackpot in U.S. history at the time, took the win in stride. Instead of blowing the money all at once or planning extravagant trips around the world, the McCullars said they planned on using the money to give future generations of their family comfortable lives. How did they do it? I have no idea because I couldn't find it. And what I've found is it's really hard to find information on people who have won the lottery and done good things with the money. But it's really easy to find information on people who have won the lottery and done a bunch of bad things with the money. It's amazing. 81-year-old Louise White walked away with around $210 million in 2012 after claiming a lump sum prize from the $336 million Rhode Island Powerball lottery jackpot. White decided not to detail her exact plans for the money. She did indicate that it would make her family happy and also hired legal help and safely deposited the winnings in a trust named after the sherbet she bought alongside her winning ticket. When Les Robbins won the $111 million jackpot in 1993, it was the highest Powerball jackpot to date. It was likely that his background as a middle school teacher inspired Robbins to use a large portion of his winnings to build a day camp for children. Camp Winnegator is still a successful camp over 20 years later. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome job, man. Erica Greene worked in a cell phone office, but when she won the lottery, she showed up at the lottery office in a stretch limousine. According to the reporters, she planned to buy a house, a car, and a land. She was quoted saying, "I've studied up on statistics, and I'm going to have someone handle the money for me. I'll make my money work for me instead of blowing it all." Now, Greene called to claim her prize right away, something she probably regrets now, Castile said. This is her lawyer. It's one of her advisors she picked to help handle her money. She was saying, she regrets claiming her prize right away. People tried to take advantage of her, Castile said. She remembers Greene received hundreds of packages and letters, plus cookies and balloons from people seeking her attention and funding. A woman asked for $5,000 so she could go on a honeymoon Someone tried to get her to buy a horse, but Greene encircled herself with Castile and other advisors before doing anything. More than a decade later now, Greene is still doing very, very well. Brad Duke, 34, a manager for 5 gold gym franchises in Idaho, pocketed a lump sum of $85 million after winning a $220 million Powerball jackpot in 2005. He spent the first month of his new life assembling a team of financial advisors. His goal? To use his winnings to become a billionaire. Here's what Duke had done with his money so far. $45 million safe, low-risk investments such as municipal bonds. $35 million aggressive investments like oil and gas and real estate. $1.3 million a family foundation. $63,000 a trip to Tahiti with 17 friends. $125,000 mortgage retired on his 1,400 square foot house. $18,000 student loan payment. $65,000 new bicycles, including a $12,000 BMC road bike. $14,500 a used black VW Jetta. $12,000 annual gift to each family member. That's awesome. Did you often buy lottery tickets, or was this a one-time thing? I played the lottery often when I won. I had developed a little numbering system. Since I've won, there's been a lot of numbering systems for lotteries all over the internet. Before that, there weren't any. I really thought I was going to win. I even wrote it down in my journal in 2002. How did you develop your system? How to choose my lottery numbers started through a trial and error process. I just started playing number games with myself about how to capture the most diverse numbers. Then I looked at the most recent Powerball numbers over the last 6 months and took the set of 15 numbers that were most commonly coming up. My Powerball numbers were going to be those 15. So I'm starting messing around with it, and my number games got a little more complex and a little bigger. I was starting to win smaller amounts like 150 and 500. So many lottery winners have sad endings. Did you worry about that? I've always handled responsibility well. Which makes sense, right? He already owned 5 gold gyms. If you accept that check, you accept an amazing responsibility to yourself and whoever you decide to include in it. I was quiet about winning for a month before I decided to come out. During that time, I was getting as much research as I could on existing lottery winners and what their stories were. Most of them lose all the money within a short amount of time. I'm looking at statistics where people in 10 years have nothing. In 10 years, I wanted to be worth about 10 times as much. I think a lot of people play the lottery are people who live on hope. What was your first major purchase? A trip to Tahiti for me and 17 of my friends. At the same time, I paid off my mortgage and student loans. What was your biggest purchase? The family foundation was the biggest allotment of money, $1.3 million. What else did you do with your money? I wanted to make the most of the opportunity that was given to me, so I put together a team with the intent to reach and maintain a $1 billion status over a particular period of time. I wanted to do it in 10 years, which I knew was aggressive. My team talked me into looking at 15 years, but it looks like we're on track for 12 years. When you do something like that, the more you become worth, the quicker your growth curve is. My total net worth right now is at an unofficial value of 128 to 130 million. We've done very well for the first year and a half. What about a big new house or a fancy new car? I guess I'm more worried about spending time on my investments and helping my consulting company along and doing fun things with my family and friends. I will have a new home and a great car at some point, but just not now. The great thing about the lottery was that I get to experience amazing things with people I care about. I started up a consulting company and I'm employing some people that helped me along the way with my employment. I took my family on a cruise. You had to have treated yourself to something. I bought bicycles. I probably own upward of 17 bikes. I also bought a 2002 Jetta. I gave my 2005 Jetta to my nephew, so it's the exact same car except his is white and mine is black. You had a newer car that you gave to your nephew and you bought an older car? That's correct. I wanted a black VW Jetta with a black interior. Believe it or not, those are really hard to find. I went to the local dealership and had them track one down for me. They had to go to Texas to get it. It fit my bicycle rack really well. What happened to your job at Gold's Gym? I still teach a spinning class there twice a week. I took some time off after the whole thing because everybody had investment opportunities that were the greatest things since sliced bread, and there were 100 of them every day. So I had to get out of there for a while, but when I went back, the people I'd been teaching for the last 8 years were still the same people, and I was still the same instructor. Have you given money to members of your family? One of the first things I did was give everyone in my family the maximum amount without tax consequences. I have all of my nieces and nephews' college funds set up, and they're set. And there's no debt for anyone anymore. Everybody is happy. And are you happier since you've won? Absolutely. When it comes down to it, I get to do the things professionally that I've always wanted to do. I get to invent a piece of equipment that I've always been thinking about doing. I get to give back to some people that have given to me over the years. It's a good story, man. You know what? Screw it. Who cares? Who cares? You guys get it. Here's a bunch of people who won the lottery and were successful. Right? They planned ahead what they were going to do. Heck, some of them didn't even cash their ticket in right away. They waited a month or two before they cashed their ticket in. It was just like discipline, right? There were people who planned out exactly what they were going to do and allotted certain amounts of money to each phase. There were people who waited to cash their ticket in. But one thing I noticed all these winners did was they assembled a team of experts to help them manage their money, which I think is, shows great foresight, really. And one thing I noticed is they all had the same problems. People reaching out to them, con artists reaching out to them, politicians reaching out to them, anybody and everybody, family members reaching out to them, anybody and everybody reaching out to them, right? But they were disciplined with their money. They stayed true to goals. And one thing I noticed was all the winners had goals. They all had goals. The one guy I loved the most had a goal to get his net worth to $1 billion within 10 years. Just amazing. Amazing foresight, plan in place. And I think that's how we succeed in life. We have plans in place, It's like examples of people using the money and not letting the money use them, right? Anyways, I think those are some great stories, guys. If you're more interested in people who have won the lottery and done great things, good luck finding more stories. I'd love to hear some of them in the comment section. So if you go out there and you find one, cut and paste that sucker into my comment section because I would love to read about it. I will tell you, I found it most challenging to find stories of people doing great things with their lottery winnings. I found it really easy to find people who just, donated their lottery winnings. I found it really easy to find stories of people who just had horrible things happen to them when they won the lottery. But I found it pretty difficult to find stories of people who won the lottery and done great things. So anyways, I'd love to hear your take on this. Let me know in the comment section. What would you do if you won the lottery? Let me know. Don't forget, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, this channel is giving away a Chromebook or an iPod. It's winner's choice. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace, guys.